Hey there, you're watching Bourbon Battles. My name's Joe. Hey, today we've got an awesome episode for you today. We're drinking these two things blind right here. I have already done it, and I know what won, but you're not going to know who won until you watch the whole stinking video. Today we got Old Forester 1920 versus Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Two of the best high-proof bottles you can find that are readily available on the shelf. So stick with us. Okay, so there you go. So you already know what I'm getting ready to drink. I have no idea what it is. I haven't filmed what you just saw yet. Follow that math. See if that confuses you. I know it confuses me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get into this drawer over here that's full of these little 2-ounce sample bottles with a sealed envelope that tells me what's in there. And I'm going to say this is better than that. This is what I think about it. If you're looking for a ton of tasting notes, I don't do a ton of tasting notes. Quite frankly, I think they're pretty stupid. And I can justify that, right? At least in my own mind. What you taste and what I taste is two totally different things. I just filmed an episode with Knob Creek and Russell's Reserve 10-year. Envelope is sealed. And if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. It's pretty interesting. Number 2, number 1, backwards to me, so I have to leave these down here. Check that out. That was pretty interesting. Everybody loves both of those, so it's kind of, pick your poison, right? I think it would split it apart. So this is going to be interesting. I love doing these things. And I don't really want to know what's in here, right? I don't care. If you'd have asked me before the last episode, do you think, if had I known what it was, do you think you'd pick Russell's Reserve or Knob Creek? I said, oh, Knob Creek, no doubt, because I love that Jim Beam profile. And it held true this time. Sometimes it doesn't. Right? I love to do it with Blantons and that kind of stuff. You can have a lot of fun with these wines. You just need somebody to help you or do a bunch of them, throw them in a bucket like I do. Guys, it's so much fun. Let me know in the comments what you want to see on a blind episode. And if I have it, it'll go in there. Or if I can get it, it'll go in there. Nothing's off limits. Let's get right into these. Oh, number 2's really got a fruity nose to it. All these, they both do. They both taste pretty sweet to me. I don't know if that means they're wheated or they're just sweeter expressions. So, and if you're wondering how you can help the channel, one of the best things you can do to help us out is like, subscribe, and comment, right? That all helps those algorithms. Even if you just comment, dude, that's stupid. I don't like that. You're an idiot. I get plenty of those, so you're not going to hurt my feelings. I've yet to have anybody say it to my face yet either. These both have a phenomenal nose. And this is one of those whiskeys that if I was sitting on the couch drinking, I'd probably spend an exorbitant amount of time just nosing on it. Hey, for those of you who don't know, I'm in Central Indiana. If you're around Central Indiana, check out Sobro Spirits. See their address on the screen there. Go check them out. Tell Lou Bourbon Battles sent you. Lots of store picks. Try it before you buy it. Love working with those guys. It's got a bunch of apples and stuff on number 1. Gosh, these are good. Let's get right into them. Don't know what it is. I do get some of that nuttiness at the end of number 1. I don't know if that means it's Jim Beam or Heaven Hill. If it's one of those things, then I'm confused because I usually don't get the same fruit notes out of that. Wow. Not everything that's in that bucket I own, right? There's a whole table of different samples that friends of mine have given me. Sometimes they make their way in there. Holy moly, is that good. I don't think the proof is overly high. It doesn't drink super hot. If it is high proof, it drinks really, really well. Yeah, tons of that nuttiness that I typically get in Beam and Heaven Hill. But I'm not prepared to guess that it's one of those. So good. Let's get into number 2 here. You guys, so you already know what I'm drinking. You don't know what order they're in, but you know what I'm drinking, so you're probably laughing at me right about now. Wow. I do think that's higher proof, so that makes me tend to believe they both are. Have you commented yet? If you haven't, comment now. Comment right now before I tell you who wins, who you would pick. You know, if you've been in the whiskey community very long, one of the things you're not allowed to say is smooth. Number one is smoother to me. They're both fantastic. And that smoothness factor is why I'm going to pick number one and say it's a little bit better. So, hey, you already know what I'm drinking. So now I'm dying to know. Like I say, you're probably laughing at me. If you haven't left a comment yet, let me know what you want to see in a blind battle. Let me know what you want to see in any episode. We'll see what we can figure out. I'm getting old, so I got to have my glasses. So I picked number one. Oh, wow. This doesn't necessarily surprise me. So you guys know, excuse me. You know what I'm drinking, but you don't know what order it is, so let me grab those bottles. So, like I said, you guys knew that I was drinking 1920 and Wild Turkey, so I was completely off when I thought one of these had that beamy profile. And you don't know what I picked yet. You're dying to know. I know that's the only reason you stuck around this long. So, if you'd asked me before this started what I thought I would pick, I'd probably say I want to pick rare breed. But in fact, I picked the Old Forester 1910. So let's look at the rare breed. Wild Turkey rare breed. Wow, 2 Wild Turkeys in a row. 116.8 proof Wild Turkey distillery. This is a batched product with 6, 8, and 12-year-old whiskeys in there. 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. You might ask why I try to include those when I can. It's because if you look at mash bills, it kind of starts to teach you what you like and what you don't like. Now, what you're going to find is this next mash bill is not far off, and it has a totally different taste to it, of course. So, Old Forester 1920, right down there on Main Street in Louisville. If you've not been there, super cool. Right? We talk about allocated bottles, right, and how hard they are to find, what people go crazy over. I happened to go in there one day, and they were just setting this stuff out on the shelf. My wife and I both got a bottle. So, visit distilleries. You never know. I don't know that I've ever been to a distillery when they didn't put something out, a distillery only release. Something has always caught my attention, and I've always been able to grab something. So the Old Forester 1920, it's non-age stated, but we think it's about 5 years old, which is going to sound pretty crazy to you. I know, 5 years old, that's not very old. Well, none of Old Forester stuff is that old. You know, they just came out with the 1924 that was 10 years old. That's really old for Old Forester. The birthday bourbon's 10 years old. When you get into the 1910, 1897, the 1920, even the 100 proof, the 96 proof, or 86 proof, whatever it is, the screw off labels, Old Forester does something a little different the way they age whiskey. They rotate that stuff around the warehouse. They think that accelerates the aging process. I tend to agree, right? Because this stuff is 5 years old compared to 6, 8, and 12-year-old blends. So what's that work out to be? We don't know. But hey, if you've been in whiskey very long, you know about Old Forester. You know about 1910. They're double oaked. This is its higher proof brother. It's not double oaked, but right, it's out of their Whiskey Row collection. I really like the 1897, which is the bottled and bond at 100 proof. Old Forester's got great flavor. It's a really cool place to visit and tons of stuff to do in that area. So if you're anywhere around Louisville, I'd highly recommend going down there. Go a little bit further south, check out Wild Turkey. Such a beautiful, beautiful property. The property at Wild Turkey is quite a bit better than Old Forester, in my opinion. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So if you haven't commented yet, let me know what you would have picked. Let me know what you want to see in the next one. So love to do them this way. Love to do them blind. And hey, you know why we do it. Because we don't give a rat's ass what's on the label. We just like good whiskey. So hey, until next time, I'm Joe, reminding you, drinking bourbon's supposed to be fun. Do it with your friends. Do it responsibly. But whatever you do, don't drink and drive. Cheers.
If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.